Social music talk. When you look at YouTube views and things like that, there's been some articles recently in Rolling Stone and New York Times about how YouTube views can be bought and
Yeah.
that they don't necessarily reflect actual popularity. What can you share about that?
Well, it's the same, not just YouTube, Twitter as well. We know a lot of the followers, even the politicians or even the celebrities, a lot of them are not even accurate, because there's bots that are out there that can
Yeah,
keep doing hits, 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 hits,
right.
hits. I
Multiply.
mean, I don't know the technology of it,
Right.
but yeah, not a lot of it's accurate. But there are other technology technology apparatus that can detect what's real and what's not real. So people are using that now. But whenever there's something successful or big or there's money involved, it can always be manipulated or bastardized
Yeah.
or messed with. Somehow someone will figure out
Well,
how to screw with it.
then the question is, should someone who wants to be an independent artist follow that path and buy their likes
Yeah.
to get things going and all that? I mean, is
Mhm.
that credible? Is that ethical?
No, it's not. Well, it's not ethical. It's not, and it's. I think, like you just said, a lot of people do know that. But there are technology apparatus now that can detect what's real, what's not real, and I know the major labels are doing that with the checking another artist out to sign or whatever
Okay.
that they have. I don't know what it is, but they can see these aren't real. Oh, this is real. This isn't real, and they can determine that. But no, I would never, ever recommend an artist, if I was consulting for somebody, to buy likes or do any of that. You got to put the hard work in, and you got to reach them, and you got to be creative and all that.
Does it all start at the live show, or where does it all begin?
I hear the live show thing a lot, and it's a mixed bag because, you just got to get on the road and you got to get out there and tour. It's like, yeah, but if no one knows who you are, who's going to come see you? Well,
Yeah.
I'm just going to get an agent and go out there. Well, who's going to sign you as an agent that gets 10% of nothing if no one comes and sees you?
Right.
So you just gotta, you have to start. I think you have to start. Obviously playing local. I'm not saying you should not play. Of course you should play. But to think the unreasonable expectations of you're going to go out there and tour the United States with nothing, no social following and no online footprint is probably unreasonable expectations. So I think dropping songs here and there, having your Twitter, YouTube streaming channels, or being on one of these great new platforms that are being established, doing music licensing, of course. I helped start the company Song Trader, the big licensing company.
Wow. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it was Paul Wilsh and myself and Helge who started that company.
Wow.
Tell
Tell us a little bit about Song Trader.
Yeah, I want to hear something about that. That's
doing,
cool.
Song Trader is doing amazing. It's kicking ass, and it's been around about 5 years now. Paul and I started in his living room, the CEO and the founder, and Helge was a CTO who built the platform. And then we moved into an offices and started hiring people, and now I don't know. I think he's in about 150 countries now, and 100 million plus valuation of the company. They're buying another company. They're partners with Unilever. I mean, they're doing great. And
so is it all about music licensing?
They're licensing songs, of course,
okay,
to movie, film, TV, but they're also into the branding now, which is where really the big play is. When you're dealing with brands. So this is what's really important these days. And who have the big money and who have the biggest megaphone are the big brands that are on TV, Mercedes, this and that, and they're doing the Super Bowl. And, these are the companies that can actually it's a mutually beneficial thing. The artist gets to associate with a major brand, and the brand, conversely, gets to associate with a cool, hip band, which gives them credibility with the buyers, the youth, especially, depending what their product is, of course. So it's a mutually beneficial thing. So this is where things are going now, because they do have money to support the artist. The artist can get their song to reach as many people as they can. And so it's a good thing. So, yeah, licensing is a real big important component for an artist's career, independent or major.
So when we talk about that, doing branding, with big companies, are they already looking for big name artists that they can associate with, or are they looking for specific types of jingles and music?
I would think it depends upon the campaign the brand is going for. In a lot of ways, they don't want a major label, a major artist, because they want to be hip and cool, as I say, and for two reasons. They want to be hip and cool and be the underground and discover artists. They're also not spending a lot of money either, because you go to U2 or the Rolling Stones or that's costing you $1 million to do something like that. You go to
Yeah.
an independent artist, it's costing you a few grand, $5 grand, whatever. So if it's a film trailer, you're spending more. If it's a movie, of course, they're spending more. If it's a TV show, it's a lot less. If it's a jingle, if it's just a music bed, instrumental. So there's all different price points here. But a lot of times a cool brand, and a brand that has tons of money, it could be Pepsi. They might go for, often cases do go for an unknown artist that has this cool vibe, or lyrically or sonically, has a relationship to the tone of the brand, the culture of the brand, I should say.
Would
So
you
I
would you
don't
say
think there's
that?
any.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I don't think there's any formula for that. I think it's all individual,
Okay, I'm
case
just
by
curious
case.
if you think that big name brands that you've mentioned, if they're already dialed in with the labels, like to work with artists.
Well, yeah, a lot of the labels have relationships with the brands, and for a major label to break one of their new artists they just signed, what's one of the best ways they can do it is to associate it with the brand. So maybe not one of their heritage artists won't be pushing necessarily, unless the brand has a huge campaign, has a huge budget. But they might say, hey, listen, we're trying to break, John Doe here, and he's a new artist we have. His new album's coming out, and and hopefully they can associate with the brand on a smaller level. So, but it works both ways. Sometimes they do want you to there, or for example, on Pepsi or something. But more often than not, the brand doesn't want to spend a lot of money either. Um,
Right.
Money's money.
So getting back to radio, do you think radio still breaks music today?
Uh, College radio maybe does.
Okay. So what is
I think.
what is commercial radio doing? Are they just following the charts and just kind of tagging along, or what? Are they making anything
Well,
happen?
I think you don't hear a lot of new artists. You do still, but I think obviously the conventional wisdom, right? I mean, I want to listen to that station because I like the playing some of the older songs that I like, and they're in the radio station selling products, right? I mean, they're an advertising agency, the radio station,
Right.
basically. And the music's going to keep me there. But who listens to radio? People like you and me, our age, right? The young people don't
I
listen to
actually
radio.
don't that much
So,
anymore.
well, you don't. I don't actually either anymore. To be honest with you. But I mean, the average commuter, people
Yeah.
do listen to radio still. But they're an older demographic, and if you listen to the products being sold on radio, they're geared toward that demographic as well. So, but those are the bigger brands, the Mercedes, the BMWs, what have you. But the younger demographics the younger people aren't listening to radio. But Alex, you're a hip guy, man. That's why you're not listening to radio. You like artists. You listen for artist discovery. You're not going to get artist discovery on WXYZ radio. You're just not.
Right. Well, I got rid of my car too. I do public transportation now, and so I
You
don't have
become
car
you
radio
becoming-
now.
You didn't become an Amish, did you?
No, but
Okay.
I'm
But you hope.
definitely an environmentalist.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are. And you're also a good artist too.
Thank you.
I've seen some of your sketchings. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very
good.
much.
Yeah, man.
I come from an artistic family, and it was encouraged growing up, and I think that's important. I think the artists of today tend to be, well, there are, you have Miley Cyrus, daughter of a country star. You have several situations like that where it's been nurtured, and that
Yeah.
those people who nurture music at a young age, I mean, they seem to have the best chance to go the furthest distance.
Well, it takes a team. You can't do anything by yourself.
Right.
It takes a team of people,
Right.
and it takes patience. It takes serendipity. It takes financial resources. There's so many things that have to happen to make either an artist successful or a company successful. Same thing with a company. You can't just...
Can a person actually turn to somebody like a mentor and just trust in that person who's been in the music business, and that person leads them to success? Does that happen?
I mean, if that person is willing to mentor, a lot of people aren't willing to mentor because it's just it requires effort on their part and time, and there's no money in it, generally speaking. So, I do some mentoring with Techstars and Canopy here in Boulder, which is a cannabis company incubator. So I donate some of my time like that and help people like that too. But and I know some artists. I'm thinking of one right now in Nashville who's starting to do some mentoring with other artists as well, trying to help them navigate their stuff, their career.
How would you describe your work as a consultant?
Well, it's not one thing. It's funny you're asking me that because I've had that question before, and I've consulted with companies. I consult for artists. I consult for people come to me for the weirdest things sometimes. Oh, can you help us do a pitch deck? Oh, can you help us raise money? Or can you help me get can you help me run my little artist company? Like I need publicity. I need social media. I need someone to help me find a good producer. I mean, so they come to me for all different things. And I've worn a lot of hats, as you know, from management to owning a small record label and the licensing company, et cetera. So I've been around for a while, so I just have a little more experience. I'm not any smarter than anybody else, but I just have a lot of years under my belt. And I'm just able to offer my experience really more than anything, because the hardest thing with an artist is knowing what to do. Who do you call? Who are the real players in the business that can affect change? Who are the ones that are making the decisions? Who are the real people? Who are the fake people? How do you even get to those people? So they hire me for that kind of a thing, because I can just pick up the phone and call the people that are going to do the right thing, and so that's really my value, So
you brought up something that's interesting that came up on Facebook over the past few weeks about there's the real music biz, and then there's this fake music biz of just internet people that are faking out artists, taking money from them, saying they're going to promote them, but they don't do anything, apparently.
Right. I think Billboard just did something. I think Billboard just did something like that on it, or maybe it wasn't Billboard, but I just read that as well, something like that.
So how can an artist look out for that? Know the difference?
I think it's pretty funny. I read that article, and because the internet just spawns all kinds of people, but isn't it kind of easy to find out who's real? Because we have the internet. I mean, you can do due diligence. If you pull up Tom Callahan Music Business, you'll see all kinds of stuff, and that's and you can check it, But if you pull up Joe Schmo and you don't see anything on him, I mean, then you probably shouldn't hire him, or her.
Right. For any amount.
I mean, as an artist, I mean, an artist should do their due diligence like anything else, and just check out who they're hiring, and how deep their resume goes. If they've worked with one artist and they've done one little thing, okay, well, you're taking a risk. But there's some good people out there too. There's a lot of good people out there.
Right.
That have been around a while, and a lot of it's trial and error. We've been around a long time. We've had a lot of success and a lot of failures, but that's how you learn.
Let me list some of the artists you've worked with, either in promotion or in some other capacity. Shania Twain, Lenny Kravitz, Rod Stewart, Paula Abdul, Lionel Richie, Chris Isaak. Any more I should add to that list?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a lot more, but yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be around some amazing musicians, and that really obviously helps my reputation by being associated with success. So, I mean, one success usually leads to another success. You sort of need that calling card.
Social music.